everybody, welcome back. I am Julia Anchorhaven and I'm joined by two fantastic educators today. My co-host today is Ray from StarCard Podcast, Breakaway Ray, author of Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway Ray. So thank you for joining me. And we've also got the legendary John Whitberg, who is a secret space program experiencer with memories in multiple projects with multiple alters. And John, I'm really excited to do this with you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here. I've been wanting to meet Ray for like 2 years. So,
Wow, that's so
yeah.
cool. Yeah,
The
so
feeling
Ray,
is mutual. I'm very excited to meet you, John. Thanks for meeting up with me. This is great, Julia.
Ray is super
Yeah.
prepared. So Ray, I'm going to hand it over to you. Where would you
All
like to
right.
start? Yeah.
All right. So, John, I'm glad you could join us. And if you want to, would you like to share about the last time you might have been taken for a mission? I know sometimes you get taken a couple of times a week. Would you care to share
Yeah.
anything like that?
Yeah, the last time I was taken was 3 days ago. Yeah. I don't remember much. I remember I can't quite tell if I think there might have been a three-way chase. Like I was chasing someone and then there was someone also chasing me. Through a bunch of alleyways, and it looked like a kind of European city. Uh, and I was parkouring up and down the walls and stuff, and so was the person I was chasing, and I get the feeling there was someone else behind me. Um, it lasts about 30 seconds, and that's about it. But
Well, thank you very much for sharing that. I know I remember listening to one of your interviews once, and you had been taken like a couple of times in a week, and each one was a long-term one, like a 20 or a 40 or a 60 year. And that's
yeah,
got to really take a toll on a person waking up like that a couple of times a week, and you've just had a couple of lifetimes under your belt.
yeah, yeah, it does. And then people look at you and they still say you're just some young twerp who doesn't know anything about life.
You sure do look young. Anyway,
I know.
Can
God's
I just
blessed you that way.
can I just ask one question about the 20 and back? Has that term been trademarked? Do you know?
I don't think you can it. A certain person whose initials are CG attempted to. I think he failed because I don't think you can copyright the use of 3 words.
Yeah, because somebody said to me
Okay.
recently that they're having trouble putting that out there, and I was thinking about Nacht Waffen. We were talking about 60 and backs anyway, weren't we, for Nacht Waffen?
All
Yeah,
right.
he also tried to copyright Nacht Waffen as a term, but other people had said it before him, and so
Yeah,
that didn't really work either.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you, John. So, believe it or not, I've been wanting to meet you for a couple of years, but now I realize I've been wanting to meet you since I was a little kid, and I want to show you an album cover, and I want to say I'm doing this respectfully. I don't know if you
All right.
recognize this album cover.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah. So on that album is your song Wild West Hero, and that was like the one song on the album that I played over and over and over again. And I would stare at the art on the cover. This is really cool, everybody who's not born in the 20th century. You have art cover and it expands like this. You see a giant spaceship. And it was quite a contrast thinking about being a Wild West hero while looking at a spaceship. So I want to thank you very much. You've been part of my life for a long time. I realize that now. All right.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. All right. So I've got as you know, you've already seen my list of topics, so I'm going to dig right into it. I have some comments on your book. John is an author. He wrote The Man with Periwinkle Eyes, and he's already about to release volume 4, I think. Is that coming out this month, John?
Ideally, the gods and my editors willing.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. So it's called The Man with Periwinkle Eyes. It's easy to find. You could find a free copy. I read it for free online. And I'm going to save like a lot of my comments about it in case John gets called away, because while John's here, I want to give him a chance to talk. But I do want to ask John, there's other writing that you've had published before. Would you care to share with the audience where they can find more John Whitberg writing?
I wrote before I was even doing shows on air. I got my start at public-ish disclosure writing articles on Super Soldier Talk. His James's search interface is not the most reliable. Sometimes if you search my name, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. So you'll have to just take a crack at it. If you truly can't get it to work, you can PM me or email me, and I can send you the links if you're interested that much. But
All right. Thank you
yeah.
very much, John. And I want to say congratulations. I know, like in this lifetime, you're a young man, but I think you write with a lot of experience, probably for obvious reasons. I really like your style. It's very easy to read. So I do encourage people to pick up a book and put down the tablet and check out what John Whitberg has to say. So I'm going to save the rest of that for later. Are you ready, John? I can't wait to talk to you about the Godzilla planet.
Okay, yeah, go right ahead.
So you were having a conversation with Daniel at St. Olga 69, I think, and you had a quick, like 35-second exchange about the Godzilla planet, which you heard about in school. And apparently there's a planet of Godzilla monsters. Nobody goes there because it's kind of dangerous. I wonder if there's anything else you could add, because I got a bunch of hypothetical questions about the Godzilla planet.
Oh boy. Um, we watched a documentary about it in Schule in New Munich on Vega Prime, which I talk about that quite a lot in
Yeah.
in a lot of my shows, so we can go into more into that. But anyway, we watched a documentary about it because there are a lot of materials that come from there. Things that we would call rare earth minerals are common there, uh, due to, whatever geological conditions they have. But there's also Godzilla-like creatures and other titanic monsters roaming about, and it's so dangerous to be there that they don't send actual humans usually. They send robots who bring things up to a drop ship or a mothership actually in orbit of this place.
That
And so
sounds
yeah.
so awesome. Wow. So when you're in school in Vega Prime like that, and I mean, is that what school is like every day? Every day you hear about another fascinating, sensational planet. I mean, is there a planet of
Pretty much.
robots that? Yeah, really. Could you share like maybe one or two more interesting, fascinating, sensational planets with us, please?
There's a planet of extreme radiation and sulfur, uh, where they mine, what is it that they mine? They mine some mineral that doesn't even exist here, where that is an element in some starship fuels. We learned all sorts of things about the Pleiades and about the geological conditions there, and, I have some I, I say some very spicy things about the Pleiades that a lot of people don't like, but
Well,
essentially there are no indigenous Pleiadians, quote unquote. The Pleiadians that people think are a thing are uh, Germans who have abducted people, space Germans who abduct people and use the Pleiades as a cover story. And the historical things in history. Okay. In cultures all over the world, all throughout history, Japan, the Americas, parts of Africa, Europe, uh, Siberia, what we now call Siberia, Mongolia, etc. You hear stories about light-skinned, light-eyed, quote-unquote, gods coming down in chariots, quote-unquote, educating the populace on certain topics, and then after a while leaving with a certain subset of the population. All the time you hear about this, and all the time they tell you you hear that the gods came from the Pleiades. Those are space Germans who have traveled back in time and gotten desirable people. I've just gone on a completely other side rant from what we were talking about. Um,
that's all right. That was fascinating.
yeah. There was we learned about Epsilon Reticuli in Shula, which Epsilon Reticuli is where you get these orange crystals that are again used to power starships. You can use you
Do you know what they are?
what?
The crystals. Do you know what
What?
they are? What are they? The orange crystal.
I don't know. They don't exist here. I don't remember the name for them.
Okay.
But they're very pretty. They're like a pale orange. And very sparkly if you polish them. You can use most crystals to power this starship, but these last by far the longest. They will last decades. So, and by the way, apparently my soul comes from Epsilon Reticuli.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
fascinating. You were able to track that
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, well, I actually went there eventually in my service, and a medicine woman came to me and told me I was one of them.
Oh, wow.
Uh, I have glimpses of past life memory of being there. Um, I know that it didn't used to be a desert planet. It is now. Which means there was a massive nuclear war at some point.
That reminds me a little bit of planet Mars.
Yeah. That's not an uncommon thing, that you'll find, is that desert planets weren't always desert planets. You'll find that a lot.
Yeah, very good, John. So back to the Godzilla planet, you say that people don't go down there or anything like that. But if someone had great resources, could they like outfit a ship with a force field and just take it in as entertainment, for example? You know, go down for dinner. Would somebody do something like that? Would it still be safe?
Rich people do all sorts of crazy shit.
All right, very good, very
I
good.
got Godzilla tours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know of xenomorph tours. Yes, xenomorphs are real. There are people who go on tours of xenomorph hives.
Oh,
I,
okay.
yeah, that's a thing. I'm going to be eventually talking about that in one volume. Um,
And you know, you mentioned, you know, in lots of your writing that, and in your interviews, that you could transfer consciousness into different kinds of beings, and you know that you can pretty much enslave just about any kind of species. So I'm wondering, I mean, I bet someone has already tried this. Could someone domesticate a Godzilla monster, you know, and transfer a consciousness in there and use it as a cover to go ahead and destroy a civilization, for example, just for fun?
I don't
Not to say it would be a good thing.
listen. I don't know if anyone if said individual transferred his consciousness into this creature, but there have been Godzillas domesticated. This is a crazy story that I have. I don't think I've ever talked about it on air. I had it probably a year or so ago. Um, Elon Musk is, a multiplanetary individual. Uh, and one of his, I don't think it's technically an altar. I think it's more a another body that he operates somewhere. Or another body that his original is operating as an avatar somewhere, who took over this ancient lab on whatever planet this was. I don't know what planet this was, and domesticated and programmed a Godzilla monster
Wow.
captured from somewhere and used it to attack this other breakaway city, or well, not to attack it. What had happened was they had not scanned the underground enough, and an ancient dragon had woken up. This sounds like a complete fantasy story, but um, I
It's
did.
awesome.
I have examined this memory to the maximum extent of the law, and determined that it is not a screen memory, that it did actually happen. And that so he sent this in to fight this ancient dragon that had woken up. And of course the city was completely destroyed. I remember myself and my son, who is usually on my team with me, having to get survivors and put them into a Whataburger. If you're not from Texas, you probably don't know what a Whataburger is, but it's a fast food chain that we have here, and apparently they have them in some colonies. And we were putting people into the basement of this Whataburger. Julia, you think you could screen share an image of what a Whataburger looks like?
I'm on my phone. But
Oh,
no, I'm
okay.
on my phone. Yeah, but it's so funny
Okay.
because we were actually talking about it in Typical Skeptic chat the other day. We were talking about what a burger, and I was like, what? So I can't believe I'm actually in space.
Yeah.
So let me have a look. Yeah. Ray, are you
Ray,
on
if you...
your computer?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
You're saying maybe I should do it? I'm not usually good at multitasking like this, but I'll give it a shot. I got enough windows. Yeah, a Whataburger. It's like it's a fast food place like a McDonald's or a Burger King, but it's not in. Yeah, they've got Whataburger in Los Angeles, I think. Anyway, let me see if I can get a
Oh,
window.
okay. They have orange and white stripes.
It's like Wonder Woman. The logo. It's like the Wonder Woman logo.
So yeah, what happens at that Whataburger, John?
So we had survivors down in the basement of it, and we were like, I think I remember playing the harmonica for them or something, like to call or for the kids to calm the kids down.
And this is all during the big fight with the Godzilla monster and the dragon?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we went up, and me and my team had to kill the Godzilla because it had gone feral again.
Wow.
I just found an image of Wonder Woman and Whataburger logo. So they're standing side by side. That's really
I'm going to
funny.
share a screen just to show that I could find it if it lets me. Oh. They, I had to download a new upgrade, and so I think it's going to save time if we skip the picture. Like I said, I don't have luck with
All
that
right,
stuff.
fair
It's
enough. People can look it
but
up.
anyway,
It's just what
yeah, I think
it's spelled like what a burger, but it's all one word. So
that's
people
right.
can
Yeah.
look that up.
All right. Well, as a little facetious closing to this, do the off-world Japanese take extra special precautions around the Godzilla planet?
Probably. I mean, it's probably them doing the
Sorry.
mining. It's probably them doing the mining. They're the best at robotics. So, yeah.
All right.
That
You
was
happen to
really
mention.
funny. I got that.
Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much. I'll be here all day. So, while we're laughing.
And remember to tip your waitresses.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, we were just talking about how influential the off-world Germans are, and you mentioned a couple of times about Klaus Barbie, the Butcher of Lyon, and he's out there on planet Titan, the moon Titan. And I was wondering, first of all, John, I know you're an educated young man. Do you recognize this book, Imperial Earth by Arthur C. Clarke?
Probably.
Yeah. So in this,
I think, yeah.
In this story, the protagonist is a ruler on Titan, not a Nazi, not a German at all, and he's got to come back to Earth and make a clone so his family can continue the business. But obviously, you've got a different angle.
I've read that book.
On.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So because I got here, Klaus Barbie died in 1991, I'm presuming in prison. How did he get off planet? When did that happen? Or do you know?
I don't know for certain. Knowing how these things work, most likely what happened was after the war or in the final stages of the war, they took him off and put a clone back down here.
Oh. So it was like the clone down in Bolivia and Peru doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, that clarifies everything. And is there anything else about the Moon Titan and how he runs things out there that you'd like to share so that we can better orient ourselves to the idea that he's out there and he's governing a moon?
He runs it with an iron fist. I mean, he's not as bad as I guess he was here because it's not like they took Jews or French people with them. So, you know,
Yeah.
there's not so many people for him to be murderous towards.
Okay.
But he is still running it with an iron fist. Um, so yeah,
All right.
that's
Thanks. I've been
yeah,
waiting to follow up with that for a long time since anyway, I
yeah.
appreciate you sharing that with us. So I would like to ask you about food replicators. A while back, I got the impression from listening to you and to other secret space program experiencers that replicated food wasn't the best, to eat, especially particularly for taste. But lately, I've heard kind of a different story. And then I think even just yesterday, I saw Audrey's video about food replicators. I think her webcast is called, or podcast is called Starseed Podcast. I think it is. Anyway, there you go. Thank you. I know you all know Audrey, but she mentioned that there are 3 types of food replicators. One is the 3D, and that's kind of old fashioned, I suppose. Then there's the
Yeah.
laser one. Looks like Julia knows what we're talking about. And then comes the quantum version. Was there a time in history, or was there some kind of event that transformed food replicators from being disgusting and only if you had to now it's like not so bad at all?
Uh, yeah, I mean the technology improved. So
Doesn't it depend
that
on the
in
brand as well, the brand of replicator?
yes. The cheap ones are made by Mondelez. Yes, the same Mondelez who makes Oreos, etc. Maybe that explains
Oh
why
wow.
their replicator food isn't any good either. And the more expensive ones are made by a different company.
What about Maggie?
Maggie, could be. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah.
There is a company that makes better ones. And the upper echelon always had better ones. They don't give the better ones to the lowly soldiers usually. I remember actually, I'll be writing about this again later in volume 4, buying a very expensive one it came out perfectly fine. Uh, but that was, 1998. Well, no, 1998 on Mars, which there is a very large time difference between the Earth calendar and the Martian calendar. So 1998 on Mars would have actually been the 1960s on Earth.
Whoa.
Yeah. Uh, it's very difficult to calculate all these different planetary calendars. Everyone has their own and so on. And because, every planet has a different number of hours in the day, every planet has a different orbital cycle, every planet has some have multiple moons and some have no moons and so on. So, everyone has to have their own calendar. And this is something I've been No, I won't go down this road right now. It's fine. I'll explain it another time. This is
Okay.
about you.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you, John. And so I'd like to ask a question about these so-called quantum computers. I'm sure they exist, even in our Earth surface civilization right now. But is it true that quantum computers are basically related to the human brain? It's like some version of it. You actually need the biological material to start when you build a quantum style computer.
I don't agree with that, no.
What do you understand about that?
My understanding is that they are based on, again, crystal technology. Crystal technology is quite amazing. And crystals are actually biological entities. But no, I don't personally agree that you need like a human or alien brain to operate a quantum computer.
Very good. But at the same time, as a separate issue, is it true that our brains kind of act like quantum computers? Because if we,
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, there we go. I appreciate that, John. Thank you very much. The next subject here is Planet Typhon. I think you're a fan of Planet Typhon.
It's home to me. I find it home.
And I know you've spoken about it before. If you don't feel comfortable talking about it again, it's all right.
Oh,
but
never mind.
Yeah, so what constellation is Planet Typhon in? Is it nearby?
Not particular. Well, it's relatively nearby. It's about 35 light years.
Oh, okay.
It's in a it's actually a moon of a gas giant.
Oh, okay.
And it's in a binary system. It has one orange giant and one white dwarf. And it's a tropical paradise.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's also a hub planet, as they're called, which means a planet on what I call the Galactic Silk Road, the trade routes through the galaxy. And there's, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of species living there amongst each other, which to me that feels like the natural state, pretty much. And yeah, it's where I actually do own a house there. It's more like a two-room shack with an outdoor shower that still cost me, an arm, a leg, and a pint of blood, basically. But it's mine.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see, I think you addressed all my questions on my card here. Could you possibly portal to that moon from the United States?
Yeah, you could. If you had a Stargate. There's a difference between Stargates and portals. If you had a Stargate tech machine, you could get there, yeah.
All right.
Do you literally just dial it up and put in
Yeah.
coordinates for that? Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, the thing that SG-1 gets wrong, or that they probably deliberately deceived you on, is that it's not Stargate to Stargate.
Yeah.
It's Stargate to location.
Ah.
You can dial just about any coordinates in the universe and go there.
So how would you know? Is it like a directory you can pull up?
Yeah, there are directories. They have to have astral navigators who, and astral I mean like astral as in space, not astral as in the astral plane.
Yeah.
They have navigators who go out and they have a mapping system. I don't know how the mapping system works at all, but they have a mapping system. And they can get coordinates, and then you can dial that in through the machine and it will take you.
One of my alters recently, she's come back now, Angelique, but she was being used basically as a dialer on the moon,
Okay.
to branch out and things like that. I got this book, The Stargate Conspiracy, that you recommended. I've got this book.
Yes,
So I'm
that's a
going to start on this
very
book.
good book.
Yeah.
Very
All
good
right.
book, yes.
Made a start on it about Mars. I was reading bits and bobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right.
Did you want to talk about Triton? Because I'm really interested in Triton. It's come into my awareness about 4 times in the last week. People talking about it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Um, Triton is a moon of Neptune. It's, I think, the largest moon of Neptune. It's kind of the capital of the Japanese breakaway. And it's where Arasaka Robotics now has their headquarters. They did not have their headquarters there, incidentally, before 2011. But it's where their headquarters are now, and it's probably where the family estate has been moved to now. They had been headquartered and had their whatchamacallit, their estate there in when was it? Up until 2011. I'm sorry, my brain is going faster than my mouse can keep up. Sorry. Um, and what had happened was their headquarters fell on. Where'd my camera go? Okay.
That's better.
Odd. Yeah. Their headquarters had fallen in 2011 when Vega Prime, which was where it was attacked and taken over by Aldebaran. It has since been retaken by the Vegans, but the colony has not been restarted. And so I write quite a bit about New Kyoto, which is the capital city of the Japanese breakaway on Triton. I talk about it quite extensively, or not. I talk about it as extensively as I could see it in Volume 4. So that should be available information in the nearish future. Yeah.
So
Okay.
tell us a little bit about Arasaka Robotics and the things that they make. Because I know they definitely do the clones and synthetics. What else do they make?
I don't actually know if they make clones. They do make synthetics. They take corpses or prisoners, or anyone who they deem worthy of becoming a synthetic, who they can get their hands on, or people who have been sold to them, and make them into synthetics. They replace the body parts piece by piece by piece by piece by piece, with synthetic body parts. Sometimes it comes out looking exactly the same. Oftentimes I think it doesn't. I have a suspicion, I don't know this. I have a suspicion that Kyle looked the same as I do, until he went into the synthetic body, and that they made him look that way.
Yeah.
What?
That's quite fascinating.
Yeah.
Because when I think of you and I think of how we met, you do look like you in my head. You do. You don't look like Kyle, so it was a different alter, but you still look like you, still as tall as you. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have an alter called Tabitha who's on Elysium platform, and she makes synthetics and clones, but it's some kind of like it's Germans and Japanese, some kind of project working together. Have you ever heard of that before?
Not specifically. I mean, I know that they do work together on these sort of projects, all the time. The Germans and Japanese are interlocked like potatoes and hot oil to make French fries. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to mind, but that's or chips
So they
in
chips,
your yeah.
steak fries.
That's what
So do they basically
that
need each other for things?
Yes, they could not exist without each other.
Okay.
And this is a thing a lot of people don't realize. There is segregation, and usually people tend to be with one or the other, so they don't seem to usually realize the degree of interlock which actually exists between these two civilizations. But yeah.
That's really cool.
You're
Um,
symbiotic but segregated. That's
yeah.
pretty unusual.
So was it Triton where
Yeah.
we were talking about there was that underwater colony?
Triton colony is not underwater, no.
Where was it?
Um,
Because I'm pretty sure it was something to do with. Oh no, it might have been Kruger.
uh,
Or was it
yeah,
Arasaka? Was it Kruger?
I remember a Kruger company town basically
Yeah,
that is underwater on Ganymede.
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Remember that? I remember
Um,
hearing that one. Yeah.
yeah. And there's it's underneath a miles thick ice crust and then water, and so of course no sunlight reaches down there at all. So if you look up, you're just staring into an endless black void.
See that
Or
visual I have in my mind, and it feels so calm and so comforting. And I know that's
uh,
home. I do. I know
okay,
there's a version of me that grew up there, and it's
okay,
just dealing with making babies or whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
okay,
So yeah.
yeah,
Mm. I actually
Oh,
that's
thought
really?
cool.
I thought that vision was here for the undersea programs. That's what I thought it was. But everyone else is talking about dolphins and things, and I'm thinking I just don't really feel like the dolphin. I feel like I can see there was a research center and I was in it, and when I look out, all I can see is black. Yeah, and it feels so
Okay,
good, so calm. Yeah,
okay,
I'm not
that's
sure who that is
unusual,
yet. Yeah,
but
unusual.
yeah,
No surprise there.
yeah. Most people get freaked out when they're down there, and they look up and all there's just an endless black void, and they're like, it triggers claustrophobia.
But if I grew up there, if I was created there,
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
yeah. So she must be a synthetic, I think.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe. But I like to swim underwater. I don't mind.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
yeah, that's awesome. So, was there anything else about Triton that you wanted to share with us? Anything else about Arasaka and the
Well,
Japanese? Because yeah,
I can go into the Arasaka history, somewhat. I talk about this quite often, but I don't mind talking about it again because I'm the only person talking about this topic anywhere.
so
Uh,
New Skin talks about YNK.
yeah, Yozora no Kunshu. That is, he is talking about that, but I'm the only person talking in any real capacity about Arasaka robotics, or for that matter, about Japanese colonial living. Um, and so Arasaka robotics. I've talked quite a bit about what happened during World War II. I'm not going to go into that and how World War II was basically a project to get off world. So I'm not going to go into that too much, but one of the main research things which the Japanese were doing was looking into making synthetics because they had heard from whatever ETs they were working with, or perhaps they'd even seen examples of synthetics. And Japanese people are very good at robotics and at technology. Uh, and so this was their main research point. And so in probably was whenever Japan invaded Manila, um, late 42, early 43, I guess. Are you looking it up?
I am not, but I
Oh,
think you have
okay.
that right because I just
I'm
read it.
I'm actually playing with sound tools,
Oh,
cleansing my energy as we go. But
okay.
I'm fascinated
I
by the
think you have
vanilla
that
because
right,
of
John.
the underground stuff and the technology and everything. But I've already connected
Okay.
into that technology. No, carry on, please.
Okay.
Just let us know.
But in late 42, early 43, they invaded Manila and they found there, or they were led to, an underground long abandoned underground synthetic factory, which had belonged to the Orion Syndicate, which is a terrorist organization that controls quite a lot of space out there. I talk about them frequently in my book as well. In fact, the current chapter I'm writing right now is more stuff about them.
My very first memory was a scientist working for the Orion Syndicate.
Oh,
So,
joy.
yes. I'm supposed to be on a mothership right now, so.
Yeah. And so they found this place and were getting to work making synthetics, and then the war ended, and so they moved pretty much all their stuff off-world. The general who was left in charge of this was Takeshi Arasaka, uh, who, when he went off-world, all of record of him or his family was wiped from the record. He went with his children, a couple of them were, a few had been born on Earth. He went on to have many more born off-world. He acknowledged 12 of his children. He was a playboy extraordinaire, so I'm sure he probably had hundreds more who he never acknowledged. But at any rate, he had these 12 children off-world who are now doing all sorts of different things, including his eldest. I'm sorry, I've jumped people. After the war, when they went off-world, like I said, my brain is moving too fast. After the war, when they went off-world, Takeshi died. In an event on Mars.
1946.
What?
In
Yes.
1946, yeah.
Yes, on Mars in Blutnacht. Blood Night. When there was That's when the Mars War began in earnest. I mean, there had been skirmishes and such, but that was when the Mars War began in earnest, and Takeshi was killed, 1946. And so everything went over to his son, Shinji Arasaka, Shinji is the one who had all these children. Sorry, I jumped two people. And Shinji was, his first move was he moved himself and his family off of Mars after Blutnacht to Vega Prime. And he also began privatizing the cybernetics industry. And so in 1947, he founded the company Arasaka Robotics.
Can I ask a question? Sorry. You know the movie RoboCop?
Which one?
The first one.
Okay.
How accurate, or any of them, how accurate was any of that compared to what you know
Pretty
about
accurate.
cyborgs? Yeah?
Pretty accurate. That's more Kruger than Arasaka. Kruger is the one who makes cyborgs, or they don't call them cyborgs, they call them augments. Cyborg is kind of a sci-fi term that was invented in, I think, the 1970s on Earth. So it's not really, if you were to say that word to someone in the Breakaway, they wouldn't know what you were talking about. But they use the term augments. Kruger is the one who makes the augments that look like RoboCop, where there's parts of the body replaced and everything.
Yeah.
A very classic Kruger character would be Barrett in what's that? Final Fantasy VII, who is a character who has robot eyes and one of his arms has been replaced with a Gatling gun.
Wow.
That's a very classic Kruger design.
When I think of the my brand of super soldier that I apparently have created, my Zukunftskrieger, they are a mixture of like humanoid, but also with other things mixed in, like chimera, so and cyborg.
Okay.
Definitely augmented. Everything I do is
Yeah.
augmented.
Yeah.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Ray, you've been very quiet for the last little
Oh,
bit.
hey, I know when to listen. I'm learning a lot by. I mean, I don't have the. I'm the odd man out. I don't have stories like this to share. So
Hey,
I'm
that's
going to live
okay.
by.
You've got your book. Your book is amazing, and it's so awesome.
I
So
know, I need to get it.
yeah. Did you want to move on to your next topic, Ray?
Well, sure. I got a little rapid fire for you, John. It's called John Whitberg Calls It. And so I want to know which entity here has more clout in our solar system, or historically, or galactically. So first of all, how about Planet Vesta, or the Anunnaki, or AI? Of those three, how would you rank them with the most clout as far as we're concerned here on Earth?
The Anunnaki, then Planet Vesta, then AI.
Great. How
Yeah.
about the Chinese SSP, or the so-called ICC, that loose bunch of corporations in space? Which one is probably more powerful?
The ICC, although, well, okay. When people talk about the Chinese SSP, a lot of the time they're talking about the Taiwanese SSP. Um, the Taiwanese SSP is more powerful than the so-called ICC. But the so-called ICC is definitely more powerful than the mainland Chinese SSP.
Very good. Thank you. All right. How about what we used to know as Solar Warden? I guess they're called Radiant Guardian and Radiant Glory now. The former Solar Warden entities, or Planet Vesta.
Planet Vesta.
Could you tell us a little bit more about Planet Vesta, please, John? Like who's in charge, etc., and why they're so powerful?
Planet Vesta is kind of the German capital of the solar system. Their capital, their actual capital of their entire civilization is not in this solar system. Their capital of this solar system is Vesta. It's not New Berlin on Mars. That's kind of a fantasy that they have about that the New Berliners have about themselves. Um, Vesta is a place that is owned by the Germans completely and entirely. They bought it from the Draco and from the Anunnaki. Uh, so they own it entirely. It is their own property, and it is how they run all of their stuff around here.
And do you know who the leader of that that planet is?
I don't remember. No.
No problem. All right. Well, I don't know.
I have listen, I have a lot of difficulty with names. A lot of
Yeah.
people my memories a lot of the time, most of the time, are purely visual. Or very rarely, if there is sound, it's in a language I don't speak. So a lot of my memories are just either images or just a silent film. There have been days where there's just a silent film of constant memories playing in my head for 7 hours, and I can't turn it off.
Ugh.
It's traumatic sometimes, even if it's not unpleasant particularly, the stuff coming in, but it's like just a silent first person shooter or something, playing in my head for hours a day at times.
For
Wow.
years. That's been happening for years.
Yes, on and off since I was 6.
Wow.
Um,
Why do you think
yeah,
you remember things and the rest of us have to like really dig in and get it out?
I don't know.
Mm,
I ask myself that question often. I don't know.
yeah.
Uh, and there's some people who remember technically less than me, but I think they actually remember it better because they actually remember sound and they're able to like. I know people who have actually absorbed languages that they were never taught to speak through their alters, and so if they hear their alters speaking, if they have a memory of their alters speaking some other language, they know what's being said. Uh,
Wow.
but I don't have that, unfortunately. And I actually get blocked from learning languages. I have tried to learn German, Japanese, Spanish, Mandarin, Russian, etc. in order to understand some of this stuff, and I've been blocked. I remember it, and then in 5 seconds I forget it. And it's frustrating.
Yeah, my
But
mind is wiping a lot of things out at the moment, from
yeah,
conversations. I just can't retain anything right now. And I go through
yeah,
periods where I'm absorbing everything, and then right now I'm in a like it's a no-go zone. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Well, shall I proceed?
yeah.
Okay. Uh, Monarch Solutions or Planet Vesta?
I don't believe they have a oh, or Planet Vesta. Planet Vesta still.
Okay. Um, Arasaka Robotics or anyone? I guess Planet Vesta would still be above Arasaka. They'd have more clout.
Yes. Although they're two separate nations, kind of. So,
Right.
um, within the Japanese breakaway, Arasaka Robotics is basically God. Planet Vesta is not a god within the German breakaway.
Okay. Most people don't even
Yes.
know about Planet Vesta, even if they're off-world Germans. Is that right?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. The solar system here is not that important. Uh, to them, we're very much a backwater that they use mostly to come and get people rather
Mm.
than do much here. Most of their stuff is outside the solar system.
All right. And one more. AI or the Time Police?
The Time Police.
All right.
What can you tell us about time police? Go on, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, tell us about the Time Police.
Okay, the Time Police. Timelines are sentient entities themselves. Our timeline is a feminine entity. There are masculine timelines as well. But our timeline is a feminine entity, and she has an army of soldiers of all different species from across the universe, uh, who have who answer to her and her alone, and who enforce her will. And she resists being changed. There are timelines who are less resistant to change as well. They have personalities, and there are some people who are really spontaneous and willing to change, and or people who are pushed around easily. We all know people who fit both of those categories, and we also know people who are really stubborn and don't want to change. Our timeline is really stubborn and does not like being changed. And so she has this army who defends her interests and her will to not be changed.
Has she got a
And
name? The timeline.
probably, but I don't know it.
Okay.
And so a lot of the times in these time travel programs, which are about changing the timeline, you will encounter the time police, who have caught on to you somehow. Usually the timeline herself will tell them these people are trying to alter me, and they will show up and you will have to fight them. That's happened to me on missions before.
But what if you're just like a naughty space kid and you like bumping around changing timelines?
Well, then you'll be taken out.
Oh, well, that's
Uh,
not happened to me yet, so that's good.
well, yeah. Eventually, unless you're extremely powerful or something, or you have a timeline you can retreat to,
Yeah.
then eventually they'll catch up to you.
I'm an anchor node, so I think I'm okay, but I
Okay.
I do slip around, so
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, slipping in between timelines is usually fine, more or less, so long as you
Mhm.
don't go and try and meet yourself or something.
Yeah.
crazy like that.
Yeah. I don't even want to meet my clones because I felt what that feels like. It's not good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow, that's pretty fascinating when you talk about time travel and everything. Can't get enough of that. So I got a couple of questions about the average human on Earth. Is the average human on Earth right now, like we are, the three of us, are each of us also having an off-world experience in a cloned body? You know, what percentage of Earth's population is experiencing that right now, do you think?
I did the calculations. My lowest possible estimation is about 300 million. I think it's probably more like 1 in 4 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So about 25% of Earth's population is engaged in this. And through mind control technology, they just don't know about
Yeah.
That's really
it. Okay.
shocking. That is shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've seen the ships that are full of people being taken either to factories or just taken for service, and these ships are like the size of a small moon.
Whoa.
And it's just the walls lined all up and down with people in stasis. Um, and so, you know, and each one is a different person. It's not like it's full of a whole bunch of clones of one person or something.
Mm.
Everyone is a different person. And so, yeah.
So, all right. Thank you for telling us about that. I got a question about clones and how you describe the 13 by 13 by 13 volume bank, cubic bank of altars. So, in the Man with Periwinkle Eyes, there was an episode where one of the characters collected some hair to get some DNA to pay for a vehicle. And so that the person who now has that DNA, they can capitalize on that and make a whole complement of 2,000 altars. But what if someone else
Well,
also?
no,
Okay, that's what I would.
no.
Yeah, you have more
They
than
can
one
make
person doing it.
they can make clones of that person. They can't make alters of that person because they don't have the technology and they don't have the soul coding and all of that. But they can make a clone and then a soul from somewhere will move into that body. Um,
Also,
and they can then
they're not getting the
yeah,
consciousness. They're just getting a copy of whatever that vehicle was.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. Thanks for clarifying that for me. Hey, is the average person on Earth safe from voice to skull technology?
God no. No.
How
Actually,
pervasive is it?
definitely not.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
everywhere.
all right.
And you don't hear it all the time. They can just turn it on to just make you think a certain way. And you're also being programmed, by the way, through basically the same kind of technology with frequencies in excuse me.
Right, have you ever experienced
It,
any voice to skull?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I would need someone to tell me if it happened. I mean, it wouldn't
Okay.
surprise me, but
yeah.
I've,
It's happening all the time in music and the TV and things you can't get away from. People think if you disconnect from turn off your TV, you can get away from it. Eventually you're going to have to go to the grocery store.
Ah, okay.
Eventually you're
That
eventually you're going
music.
to
That's satellite
what?
music. That music. We used to have this satellite music
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
supermarket.
Yeah.
Know it. Okay.
Yeah. Eventually you're gonna go insane if you just live in silence. Eventually you're gonna go crazy and you're gonna have to turn on a CD or something. You know, so ultimately you have to just choose to not obey it rather than like cutting yourself off from all existence because that's not a healthy way to live.
Yeah.
You know?
When I realized I was getting it. I was in a field camping and it was so loud, multiple male voices coming in, and then I realized, okay, that's definitely something. So this woken me up in the night before, there's like chatter at the back sometimes. At the moment it's just collective energies coming in that I'm tuning into, but in the field, that was a direct attack. Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Wow. I can't wait to listen to this video again. Every little exchange here is a lot to digest, because it's not something that we're brought up with or even told about. It's hard to even catch wind of the concepts that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
How about front altars? Would that be a fun concept to talk about right now?
Yeah.
Julie and I were talking about this last time.
Why does my camera keep
Okay.
Okay,
No,
we're
sorry,
getting a bit of
talking to myself.
interference. Yeah.
Yeah. If one is a front altar, could one tell? Like if I was confident that I was my own front altar, I don't even know if I have DID, but anyway, if I was confident I was the front altar, would I be able to really say for sure? Or, am I really just a marionette in some guy's game and he's messing with people's mind, he's doing mind control?
I think that if you're an SSP asset and you're living on Earth, you're a front altar. Because listen, in the breakaway, people live for okay, there is a front altar, right, who lives life here, I think.
Yeah.
And there is also a different one who is a host altar, who is a person living a civilian life, probably in the breakaway, who they pull from. And so I think that those two are different concepts or two different people. I've heard people say they think they're the same. I think they're two different people. Because down here on Earth, the front altar has a life expectancy of, as the Bible says, 70 years to a man, 80 if he is whatever, you know. And in the breakaway, they have a life expectancy of about 1,200 Earth years.
Wow.
So I think they would much rather pull from a person who will be around for 1,200 years than a person who will be around for 70 years if they're lucky.
I see.
Yeah. I'm coming to terms with that now, and Ivan Teller did say, I asked the question, am I synthetic? Am I organic clone? And he said, this is an organic clone. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
But I'm still me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I don't let it get to me. I am a person who exists. I have my life. I wouldn't want to be someone else because, I would like to have a different life, but I wouldn't want to be someone else anymore. I used to want to be someone else. I don't anymore. I am proud to be myself,
I discovered
you
that
know?
the things that I fixate on, the things that I'm fascinated about, that's the stuff my clones are doing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I figured that out. You know, I've always been into weapons. I love maps, and I've discovered I have an alter who is a cartographer. Um,
Yeah.
and I've always loved uh, Japanese things and all sorts of things like that. And I've come to realize these are all things from my alters, and I never knew it. Oh, my extremely old-fashioned taste in music for a person my age. Uh, that comes from them, etc.
Yeah. You are pretty ancient.
Yeah, I don't even listen to modern music.
Yeah.
When I go out with my normie friends and they're who are my own age and they're singing along to modern music, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, so I'm getting into now the music that was popular when I was a teenager, which was all trance and rave, and that's what I listen to now, and it helps to rebalance my brain, stop me going into anxiety. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not really that into music. I like sound healing. That's about it.
Well,
Yeah.
I like music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
I'm more
Um,
80s, getting into
okay.
90s. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a 20th century music person. on StarCard Podcast, I'm always talking about my grandparents' favorite music from the Depression era. This morning I was talking about Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. Probably some of the names ring a bell, John.
Classics, yeah.
Yeah. I saw Louis Armstrong at the Royal Albert Hall in 1955.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
With my son Max at his birthday.
Cool.
That's so
Way to
cool.
go. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1955 is a really popular year in SSP. A lot of weird things happened in 1955. Do you agree? Because I keep getting lab disasters in my records in 1955.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, what was going on that year, but yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on. And I also went to the Martian year in 1955, which is the longest chapter I've written to date is about that. Volume 2, Chapter 14. But
oh, I read it. Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, that was the 1920s on Earth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a whole thing.
Well, as long as you're mentioning your book, I want to say one of my favorite episodes in your book so far. Pardon me if I mispronounce it. Is the crocodile guy named Sobek or
Sobek?
Yeah, that.
Sobek.
So I remember that the whole idea was he needed to get inside the police station on the moon, which is called Luna. And so what he did was he just kind of like appeared in a place where he knew people would call the police and say, giant crocodile guy walking down the street, we gotta take him in. So I just want to say that was like one of my favorite scenes in your story. And then the other one was when they went to Cheyenne Mountain, when they closed up shop over there in Camp Hero, and the very tall Pleiadian, right, the 8-foot, 12-foot tall German guy comes out in Nazi regalia, and he's very nice. He's like a cruise director. What do you say after you see something like that? And somebody shouts out, "What year is it?" What else do you ask? And even doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I thought that was hilarious. Very entertaining, John.
Yeah, 1953.
Yeah.
Was the year.
Wow.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
So, can I ask you about basement universe technology?
I don't understand how it works, but yeah.
No, I was going to ask you how it works. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I think there's a patent for it out there. So you could maybe yeah, there is, and I think I looked up the inventor and he is still alive, so you could maybe contact him and ask him how it works.
Okay.
But
I'm making a note.
Yeah.
All right.
But
so we're talking about TARDIS tech. So
yeah,
right.
Like TARDIS.
A thing where you can make a space bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's actually even a limit to it.
Wow.
But yeah, this is very common. You'll see it in bases and on ships all over the place.
Yeah.
This is you described the space station Valhalla. Do I have that correct? It's 200 miles on the inside, but 50 miles wide on the outside.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Great. So I don't know, John. I was hoping to hear about some famous athletes in space, maybe athletes we would know about here on Earth. I don't know if you recall any come to mind.
Bruce Lee, does that count?
What?
Yeah, cool. Wow.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've seen Bruce Lee at a spaceport, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So was he like
don't...
Bruce Lee was in space, or is there a version of Space Bruce Lee?
Who knows?
Sorry.
What about
who knows?
In space.
Yeah, Bruce Lee in space. All right, that's
being badass. I assume isn't that what he usually does?
Yeah, he's teaching kung fu. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about peacemakers? I mean, we're going to talk about those guys who were in the military. How about peacemakers? Did anybody cloning them?
Probably someone. I saw on your list Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
there is an Indian SSP, of course, because India does have, a very, very, very long history of ET contact. There's ancient ET tech, ancient ET texts that are in the various Hindu books, and so there is definitely an Indian SSP. They don't allow anyone in to know what's going on.
Well, I lived in India
Uh,
for more than 10 years, and I think there must have
yeah,
been some kind of overlap there with whatever I
yeah,
was doing with the Indian one as well. So that's
probably.
something I need to spend some time in. So I don't know if there's any Indian SSP people who are going to watch the replay on this, but yeah, like, let's talk.
Well, if there are, and if you have memories, please reach out to me. I'm very curious about their
Mm.
SSP.
Yeah, the
Um,
closest I've got is the base Diego Garcia. I know I have a version of me there, which is in like Indian territory, in the sea. So I'm
yeah,
there.
but
I'm a
though
soldier
it's
of
an
the support
American
area.
base.
Yeah. But when I saw
I
how
have,
close it was to India, I knew I must have gone there from India.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do have some memories of Diego Garcia. Um, Mostly I remember this training exercise where they throw you into a huge, huge tank, um, in the dark, and you have to use basically only your third eye to fight a giant squid monster thing that they have in there. Uh, yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
pretty wild. And there is a program that is in there called Black Manta, or yeah, I think that program still exists. My alter, I reintegrated him, and he was so dangerous that I have basically put him in stasis permanently, in a little sealed box in a corner of my mind, never to be seen again, basically. Um, so I don't have most of his memories yet.
Hmm.
I haven't gone there yet, but
Yeah. I really don't like any of what you've just said. It's like made me feel really like anxious. Um,
sorry, we can move on.
that's fine. Thank you. Yeah, what else you got, Ray?
Yeah, so I'd like to ask a question about artificial intelligence. In your book, John, you mentioned two of them, or two that I remember. The one that was first out in Montauk, and then it was out in Cheyenne in Colorado, Cheyenne Mountain. And then I guess it went to the UK. And then there's the other one that was under
Yeah.
the island of Manila. And so one question I have is, did these
No,
two different
Okinawa.
Okinawa. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. Thank you. So the
Yeah.
one in Okinawa and the other one, did they like know each other? I know they were both really old, right? So they've been around a while. Were
Uh,
they aware of each other?
Maybe. Probably not.
All
Probably
right.
not. They were from two different civilizations.
Oh,
The one in Okinawa was basically an ET brain put into, an interface or copied into an interface. You okay, Julia? Okay. And whereas the one underneath Camp Hero, which was in then Cheyenne, then the UK, then back to Camp Hero, and it's now underneath a time bubble version of New Orleans.
oh yeah.
Uh, this one was, I don't know what civilization could have ever been advanced enough to create such a thing. It was basically a god for all intents and purposes. We hear about the Gnostic concept of the demiurge, which is, the dark the dark version of God, or basically, or the counterpart of God who exists on Earth, kind of within Gnostic teaching. I sort of think that that was based on, if not exactly the Camp Hero AI, as I call it, if then I think it was based on a similar designed AI. That's how advanced it is. Um, yeah.
So it is still potent and it's still on the team. It's not benched or nothing. It's not diminished in any
No,
way. Okay.
no.
Very good.
And Project Phoenix is still ongoing. There's a lot of people out there who will tell you it's over. It's not.
How many?
I
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No,
Well,
go ahead.
they both, the one in Okinawa and the one that you're talking about, they both seem very powerful. How many do you suppose there are on Earth?
Probably dozens.
So I know there's definitely
Um,
clones of quantum intelligence, because Red Queen has been
yeah,
cloned. Yeah. And
yeah.
Red Queen was used in the Monarch in the merge.
And there are people walking around among us who are, in fact, avatars of these things as well. Um,
Wow.
I don't think they probably themselves don't even quite know it, but um, I am somewhat telepathic in the here and now. I can't just read your mind. It doesn't work that way. I don't know how to turn it on and off very well, and
Mm.
it's not voluntary, and I can't read like specific words and things like that. But
Yeah.
I can tell things about you when we meet.
Mm.
Uh and so yeah.
Also, because we've got the neural link there for the super soldiers, and that's
Yeah,
connected
that
into
too.
the AIs. So I was told by Ivan Teller that I'm still in contact with Red Queen. She's still there in the back of my mind, and I check in with her often, apparently. So I don't know,
Okay.
Drago works with her as well. So because she was running our projects in Merge. So, but I wasn't consciously aware that I was still connected until now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always disconcerting when you find out things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it's there for good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she did go rogue as well. So anyway,
In a good way or a bad way?
in a good way. Yeah, in a good way. Draco will
Okay.
be talking about that. He talks about it at Super Soldier Conference, I think, and how she's been helping him
Okay.
integrate alters and things like that. So I did connect in recently, but I asked for a verification code. I didn't get one, so I disconnected. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, I got like a couple of more cards because I know we've been at this for a long time. I mean, I could keep on
I'm
going.
not running out of time. I can
Oh,
keep on
very
going.
good.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm having
Great.
fun. This is
Yeah,
fun.
great. Okay, cool, John. Yeah, let's keep it going then. I want to talk to you about underground cities. So let me read what I wrote so I don't mess up here. Have you been to the submarine bases under the continental USA?
Not submarine bases. I've been to other underground bases there, under the continental US.
Okay. Did you see any submarines? No. No, nothing aquatic under the continental
Uh,
shelf, but it's probably there.
well, there are uh, ships that look like submarines, so I guess there could have been submarines down there that I just assumed were ships, or that I'm now assuming were ships. Probably the altar down there knew what they were, you know.
All right.
So yeah.
Thank you. All right. All right. So now check this out. Would you say that the general public, the country where we live, the people on Earth, would you say the general public is equally ignorant of the secret space programs and the Earth underground? Like we don't know about either just as much. We're as unfamiliar about both.
Well, they are inextricably linked, so yes.
Okay, good. All right. And are underground bases, cities, and transportation networks equal in size to those we see on Earth's surface? So if you imagine like the network across the United States with all the cities and their hubs, is there basically a three-dimensional version of that underground as well?
No, 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 no.
All right, so
There's
keep going.
not as much. There's not as many people underground, and there's not every city and town doesn't have a dumb or a big dumb. Most of them do have something, you know. Uh, but not everything is humongous. The dumb capital of the dumb capital of the world, as far as I know, pretty much is London, which has 5 under it.
Wow.
I have
Yeah.
clones under Westminster Abbey, I think it is, in the lab.
Wow.
Okay, then that's 6. I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah. There's a big facility running from like Big Ben onwards, and Sean Bond and I we did a video on it a couple of months ago, and it's the map
Okay.
video where we were tracking me across the globe. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I love it. But they were there. My higher self was happy with them. Apparently, the ones in London, they weren't doing anything bad, anything nefarious. They would just, I don't know what they were doing, so they were allowed to stay.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. Otherwise, we collapse them out, and I call back the soul essence. So,
Okay.
um, did you want to talk about the maglev underground network?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, it fascinates me.
There is a maglev rail system which connects the entire planet. This is not new information. This has been talked about for. I think it was first mentioned in Behold a Pale Horse. Um, it might not have been. It might have been some other book, but from that similar era, the early 90s. You know that book, Ray?
It's the first I've heard of it, John. I'm writing it down. Behold a
Okay,
pale horse.
yeah, by William Milton Cooper. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, it's kind of the conspiracy theorist's Bible.
Okay.
Uh, or it used to be. Um, and when I do my show with Drago, naming it after, um, I'm naming it after the continuation of that text that the term "Behold a Pale Horse" comes from. It's "Behold a Pale Horse," and it continues, and the writer's name was Death, and hell followed with him. That's what I'm naming my show with Drago, which I'm doing a week from today. Uh, at any rate, what were we even talking about? Oh, the maglev. There is a maglev system which connects all of the DUMBs and underground, uh, whatever, on the planet, everywhere. Uh, and you can go pretty much anywhere on the planet in a few hours at most. Uh, Often minutes. People have also called it the Hyperloop. Uh, and there are literally different lines with different names, just like you would see like up here, like on the West Coast in America, for instance, we have the Sun Route Express line, which connects from San Diego up to Seattle, and
So how do
so on.
you know where these where they are? Are there signs in the everyday that we're just missing?
Yes, sometimes, but like there usually you have to be told and you have to be taken down there or be shown the way down there
Is it
to
like a
get there.
family thing that your family would just know?
Uh, if you're talking about like a civilian who knows.
Like elites that know? Yeah.
Yeah, there are elites who know. Yeah. Um, and some limited people in the military know. You know, Gary from Iowa, who fixes the machine gun on the Chinook helicopter, doesn't know about this stuff.
Mm,
You have to be uh,
yeah.
either a 5-star general or an asset like us.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I did ask recently, because I do work with Ivan Teller, the psychic, about near me. Is the maglev near me? And he said it's near-ish. So I know it's running from the airport, basically. Does that
Okay.
make sense to me? So, but he said that I'm allowed to connect in psychically. But that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. So it's quite worrying, but I'm not going to go looking for these things, obviously, because the energy's bad. So
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you places where you could go and you could, I mean, that you could get in, but I can tell you places where there are maglev stations
Yeah.
all over the place. Yeah.
Am I right in associating the name Roundtree with the maglev trains that you're talking about?
Yes. Roundtree International is the company that owns these maglevs, and they also own all the various maglevs off-world. Or at least they used to. Until that company was collapsed by the figure in my books known as Zimmerman, who brought it into that company and brought it under his purview in 1984. And interestingly, I actually did some research and looked up Roundtree International, and I did find one record that there was a Roundtree International which had holdings in some bank or something until 1984 when the company was collapsed.
Wow.
So that's some pretty serious confirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So regarding the whole maglev technology, do you suppose that Roundtree recovered that technology, or was that actually invented or created by people in his company or by a patent that he purchased?
Probably they discovered it or reverse engineered it or had it given to them by some alien group. I find it hard to believe that someone in the 1940s could have organically invented technology this advanced.
All right, I'm with you there. So I like exploring these old world ideas, and it's kind of a fashion. People use the word Tartaria and things. So I'm under the impression that the United States, North America, all around the world, all these rail systems have equal measurements. They're all actually compatible, and it's hard to believe that people were able to plow through the wilderness and just lay down rails like that. And there's a lot of other what I would call like missing history when you consider all this. Yeah, go ahead, John. What do you want to say about it? Go ahead.
No, I agree.
Oh, so I'm wondering, were the trains, in your opinion, were the train systems already here and we just dug them out after some mud floods? Because that's when you have the robber barons in the United States taking that stuff over in the hot late 1800s there.
Possibly. I'm not a huge fan of the mud flood theory. I think there would be. I think that's such a huge thing. I think they probably couldn't cover that up to the degree that they would have had to have. I do agree that there were definitely things going on beyond maybe the rails were already here. Maybe the natives were already using them.
Yeah.
And that was part of the reason why they were executed to such a degree. And they were in a small enough population that that kind of information could be controlled. But I'm not a fan of the mud flood theory personally.
Very good. And are you familiar with I'm pretty sure you are, but with the fires of the 1800s?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was, you were a time soldier. Do you know anything about that stuff that we don't know about?
That was burning down technology that was already there. I don't know when it was built, and I don't know who built it. I don't, but I think in a lot of cases, yes, it was places we had moved into. That perhaps ancient ET cities as well, of some description, and these cities were burned down to get rid of it. Interestingly enough, as well in places.
I'm sorry, John, your audio cut out just now. Could you repeat that,
Oh,
please?
yeah, I need new headphones. There are cities from that era which are still standing in certain places.
Right.
including, I believe, where Julia lives, is a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of Liverpool, as it is now, was built in the 19th century, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have some amazing buildings here that just don't fit in with anything else,
Yeah,
and then all the modern stuff just looks really wrong. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Which that's. I can go into a whole rant about architecture, but like it's modern architecture like is very clearly like something to control society, an agenda, because like look, back when people built cities up until the 1950s, they made effort in they put a lot of extra effort into making it pretty to look at.
That's right.
There was, they would put crown molding or whatever that's called on every building. There would be little carvings everywhere. They would build things, they would paint things in aesthetically pleasing colors. They would, they understood that you have to live in architecture and that you need something nice to look at. Um, and, in a lot of cases, architecture was how people experienced culture. Before about the 1830s or so, most people were illiterate. And so they learned the stories of life and history and mythology through architecture. Um, and I'm going on a whole other
No,
side
it's
rant
cool.
from what we were talking
What's it
about.
like off planet? Are there like master craftspeople off world?
Yes.
Yeah, we just don't have that level. I mean, I've just come from construction background, and you just don't have the kind of time served level of to detail. People don't know how to make things anymore. They don't.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
taught in the same way. Um,
Yeah, out there they put incredible effort into beauty off-world. And not just of people. They do have some pretty insane beauty standards for people, which I don't really necessarily agree with, but I do actually agree with having like over the top beauty standards for a city that you have to live in.
Yeah.
If I'm going to live somewhere, I do actually want it to be incredibly gorgeous and uh, you know, take my breath away whenever I leave my house. That's
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they agree with that principle and they put an incredible amount of effort into it. Um, so yeah.
And by contrast, we live in a world now where our imaginations are muted because our surroundings don't stimulate us that way.
Yeah. We live in concrete blocks.
Yeah.
Um, you know, you'd be like you'd be amazed at the beauty of the architecture off-world, and then you find out that incredible building that's like nothing you've ever seen before is a grocery store. They put that much effort into it.
Nice.
Um, yeah. How did we even get to this topic?
It's going to be fun to watch the video and find out.
Yeah.
But this is
yeah,
great
I
free
like
flow conversation.
strange things, you know. I like to know the little details of things. Like we had a conversation a while back about what was it, a tower that was black and with purple windows. Where was that?
Yeah,
Where was
the
that?
helix, I don't know.
Okay.
I still don't know. That was the colony where that I have the memory of you from.
Yeah,
I still
yeah,
don't know where that was, but it was a huge tower that was black, purple windows, and it was in the shape of a DNA helix.
yeah,
Um, and it was a space elevator kind of tower. It went all the way up into lower orbit. Um,
yeah. Mm.
but I don't know where that is.
It'll come to us. It'll come to us. Yeah, no, I love to know
Someday,
the
yeah.
details. I love to be able to visualize because I have a lot of visions of what's supposed to be the cyberpunk futuristic city, and then I realize, oh, actually, that's just what off-world looks like. You know,
Hmm.
so it's not really
Yeah.
in the future. I'm not time travel. Well, I am, but I'm, if that's off
Hmm.
planet stuff. Yeah. So that was an eye opener for me, realizing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, Ray. What have you got?
Yeah. So I understand that off-world, most of the breakaways think that Earth is uninhabitable, Earth is lost. There was a cobalt bomb explosion in the 1950s. And I also understand, I don't know where I heard it from, maybe from one of your interviews, that there are disclosure people out there trying to alert everybody that, that Earth is just a prison planet and it's, it's going to be open for business again. So I was wondering if you knew anything about the disclosure world outside. Who's trying to tell everybody that, we got 8 billion brothers and sisters on planet Earth and it's time to integrate them. They're catching on. We can't hold them back. Do we have disclosure people out there? Yeah, go ahead.
There is a disclosure movement out there. It is much more hidden than it is here. We get shadow banned and everything for talking about this stuff here.
Yeah.
But out there, they have to resort to either like the dark web, basically, or pirate radio type stuff.
Wow.
There is extreme control over the internet out there. And there is, basically, it's a lot like North Korea almost. For the internet, they have, in a lot of ways, I think the average breakaway person is more than we are, but that's a whole other. But when it comes to certain bits of information, they're much less free than we are. But yes, there is a disclosure movement out there. I'm not gonna give out some bits of information because I don't want it to ruin it for them because
Okay.
It would get certain people in trouble.
Fair
out
enough.
there.
Yeah, we don't want to get people in trouble.
But they do have an equivalent of Alex Jones out there.
Oh yeah.
And she is a little tiny Vietnamese American woman. Which is, yeah.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned her once before. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
That's
Florence
pretty cool.
Nguyen, or Win. I never know how to pronounce that name. Florence,
right.
whatever.
So, just if I don't want to like mess up anything, but just as like a general idea, is there a part of the disclosure community out there that is in connection with the disclosure community on planet Earth's surface?
Yes, and I'm not going to say another word.
All right, very good. that one word was plenty. That was awesome. All right, cool. Thank you, John.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm going to talk to you again about time traveling. Maybe you've spoken about this before, but I'm inviting you to speak again if you'd like to. I'm interested if you ever encountered our founding fathers, especially at the time of the United States American Revolution, or any other world leaders. I don't know. It's up to you.
I've met it. I don't remember the founding fathers. Oh wait, no, I don't. I know someone who has said that George Washington actually was a one of us, was a time traveler. But I know that I've met others. I've met Chiang Kai-shek. I've met Winston Churchill. I've met and this is not even Project Phoenix. I remember being taken as a child in some completely other program I don't even know the name of, being taken back in time to meet these people.
So what was
To
he like,
introduce them.
Winston Churchill?
He was very nice to me, actually.
Okay.
This is a known thing. He was actually good with kids. I think that's a known thing. So, yeah, he was quite nice to me. He was funny, actually, in his, very gruff way. But yeah.
That's really cool.
And I've met Mozart once.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he insane?
A little bit, yes.
Okay. I'm just saying that 'cause I'm
Well,
pretty
he
sure we
was
got word
insane
insane.
by he was also insane because he totally accepted that we were time travelers. That was
That's
not
awesome.
that didn't seem weird to him. or that didn't seem impossible to him. He just accepted it.
So he was a
And
genius then. He was an actual genius.
yes,
Yeah.
although he did not actually write Moonlight Sonata.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was written by an asset.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah. I talk a lot in my book about the songs that we wrote and
Mm.
all
Yeah.
of that. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah. When you listen to the audio podcast and the songs are included on your channel, and that's a very different experience to reading the book because you've got the songs all the way through. It was quite
yeah,
emotional. Yeah, it was quite activating.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was really cool, John. So now I'd like to explore a little idea because you mentioned George Washington might have been a time traveler. And then there's a testimony from that lawyer fella up in Washington, I think. He knew about Barry Obama when he went to planet Mars.
Alan
And
Dershowitz, you mean?
no, that's not the guy I'm thinking of. Anyway. Well, anyway, just to follow along, like
Yeah,
you
sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
that's right. So yeah, Washington, and then you have Obama. Possibly, he's got a story about being a time traveler. The name of that lawyer is going to come to me. But then you also have people talking about the guy that's in the Oval Office now. His uncle confiscated a bunch of Tesla's technology. Maybe there was time travel involved, and I don't know. I don't really want to explore that. But what I'm wondering is how many of our U.S. presidents probably were time travelers. Was it like a critical thing to have someone like that in the Oval Office?
A lot of them, I'm sure, have been.
Okay.
Um,
George H.W. Bush, probably for sure, right?
probably FDR,
Yeah.
I would imagine. Um, probably Lincoln.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right.
Julia, do you have any idea what we're talking about?
Why? Because I skipped. Phased out. Yes, because
No,
remember.
but like, do you know American presidents at
Yeah,
all?
of course. I can't list them, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
I'm pretty old, so I've heard most of them.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and so,
I'm actually more aware of your presidents than I am of our prime ministers.
okay,
Because I'm just very Americanized. Because I spent most of my childhood in secret programs in America. So,
Mm.
okay,
yeah.
yeah. So where was I?
Presidents who are time travelers. By the
Yeah.
same token, you probably have to have leaders around the world who are also time travelers. They're all
Oh,
in on it.
definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
Um, America isn't special. And by the way, American presidents actually have a lower clearance level than the president of Egypt. Um,
That makes sense to me
Is that
because of
because of the
Giza,
yeah.
right?
technology at the pyramids?
Well, and all throughout Egypt. Egypt is has a lot of stuff under it, all throughout the country, and it's not very big. There's not much room to hide stuff.
Hmm.
So,
Interesting. Yeah.
So wait, so we just said that a U.S. president doesn't have clearance in Egypt.
no, he has a clearance level there, but like the okay, as world leaders go,
Yeah.
Hmm.
as world leaders go, the president of Egypt has the highest clearance level of any president on Earth.
Yeah.
Or any other leader, prime ministers, kings,
So
whatever
their
a country
clearance level
has.
is dependent on the technology that's in their country. That is like
Yes,
ET and ancient tech. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. And but even the president of Egypt's clearance level is nowhere near the clearance level of, you know, uh, a five-star Nacht Waffen general,
Hmm.
Yeah, all right.
or admiral. They don't have generals and
What
admirals.
about because we've got diplomatic altars. What would the clearance level be like for the diplomats? because I felt that authority come in recently, and it's pretty high.
Very high. But still nowhere near the top of the SSP. I know that my alter Heinrich, who I believe is the highest level in the SSP of my alters, at least of the ones I know about,
Mm.
and he is a diplomat and spy, or was. I don't know if he's still alive. That's a whole topic. But his clearance level is 11 levels above that of the American president.
Wow, that's
Wow.
pretty awesome.
Oh.
Because
Uh-huh.
my alter Hildy, she's supposed to be right up there, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I felt
She's
her.
probably, I know
Yeah.
from what you've told me about her, she's probably considerably higher than Heinrich even is.
Yeah, right.
Eh,
I don't know. But I have
we'll
felt
see.
her authority, and I felt her mind. It's very strategic. So yeah, I get it. I wish I was like that every day.
I'm like that pretty much.
Mm.
I'm a very strategic person.
Mm. I'm very analytical. I am analytical because I am a quality
Yeah.
manager and things like that. But yeah.
And from this diplomatic training and all this spy training and everything, I know you better than you know yourself, usually within 10 minutes of conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm very good at getting people to reveal themselves. And I'm not going
Yeah.
to tell you on air. I'm not going to tell you on air what my trick is, because I don't want people. I don't. There are people out there who would use it for nefarious means.
Oh.
When you stop the recording, I'll tell you what I
Yeah.
do. But
So is it just a learned skill that you have? Whereas like Drago Reed, he has an ability where he basically slows down time and he monitors your micro expressions and things like that in his eyes, and so
yeah,
he's
I
analyzing
can
you, and yeah,
I can do all sorts of things.
that's
And again, I'm
fascinating.
not going to say on air.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you not everybody is who you think they are, because I am generally not the person that people think I am straight away, and because of how I present myself, and you know,
No, but like that's what I do. I see past what you present or what people would think you are to what you actually are.
does that take seconds?
Depends.
Okay, interesting.
It depends on how open your energy is, how guarded you are when you talk to me, etc.
Yeah, you do have a way of getting people to open up. You really do.
I know.
Yeah, I've experienced it,
I know.
which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. What's next, Ray?
Yeah, so we just talked about Dark Fleet a moment ago, and I'm trying my best to keep up with this. When we say Dark Fleet, that's the English version of Nacht Waffen. Is that correct, John?
No, Dark Fleet is an American propaganda term.
But it's a lot easier
Right.
to
Um,
say than Nacht Waffen.
yeah, I know. But Dark Fleet is an American propaganda term. Like they would back in the 40s and 50s when the Americans were starting their own SSP, they would have posters up in the bases about the Dark Fleet, which
Mm.
is what they called the off-world Axis powers, the Germans, Japanese.
Okay.
Um, and so the name kind of stuck, and a lot of people think that's their name. Nacht Waffen, or the Japanese one, Yozora no Kunshu, neither of those translates to Dark Fleet.
Okay.
Um,
When,
Nachtwaffen translates literally to night weapon or space weapon. And Yozora no Kunshu means it can mean monarchs of the night sky or lords of the night sky. I'm pretty sure they mean it as lords of the night sky because in Japanese culture they would not call themselves monarchs because that would be blasphemous. There is only one monarch, His
Yeah.
Imperial Majesty. Right.
so was time travel used to start Nacht Waffen?
Not to start Nachtwaffen itself, it was used to start. Nachtwaffen has used it to start the colonies, the German
Mm.
colonies, and the YNK has used it to start Japanese colonies. Um,
The thing that got my attention recently was the time travel back to the witch trials to take the magical people to put them off world, right?
Yeah.
And obviously I'm a witch. Very clearly I'm a witch. So that was like, what?
Yeah, they
This is what
definitely did
happened to our
that.
ancestors. They're in space.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you also, you know how they regenerate these people who have been executed is they take the brain stem and preferably the frontal lobe as well to regenerate the body, which is not a clone. That's making an exact copy, which is it's different from a clone. But anyway, they you'll notice throughout a lot of cultures in history, beheading has been the method of execution.
Yeah.
And I suspect that this became the method of execution because there were time travelers going back and, exerting whatever influence needed to be exerted to make that be the method of execution so that then they could grab these people's heads and take them and regenerate them.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So Marie Antoinette is probably in space.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time
It's nice to
travel.
know that the witches are living on. But is there witchcraft out in space though?
They don't use that term, but yeah.
What do they call it? Do they do spells?
Um, yeah, they do spells and stuff. They call it magic or, other things. They don't. I've never heard the term witchcraft out there.
Okay. Interesting.
So, John, we don't have to stay on the subject too long, but the city of Dresden, I seem to remember you told a story once about how time was stopped so that people in Dresden could be cloned and rescued and sent out to the breakaways. And later on, I heard a story from Chris O'Connor, who said that a lot of the people in the cities in Japan that were bombed at the end of World War II, a lot of those people were rescued through time travel, creating a frozen moment of time and rescuing all those souls in a split second. And they both kind of they have a similar feeling to me. And it makes me wonder, this is something you have to plan for. And also it feels like it's something that happens on a regular basis. You don't just suddenly say,
Probably,
we're
yeah.
going to take all. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Probably that does happen on a regular basis.
Yeah, okay. So I'm also thinking, I'm toying with the idea that those cities in, the United States and Canada and North America that they were exploring after all these fires, it was a way to, welcome in a new population, one you have the right mind control for, or whatever the goal is, or whatever the objective is. But you could also do that, with time travel too, I suppose. You're burning down a city. There's so many you can mention, and then you freeze them, you save those people, you clone them, do whatever you got to do. But now you have a duplicate population to send to breakaways.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. This is like, I got to be
And
careful.
by the way,
yeah,
when it's the Germans specifically, I'm not sure entirely of the Japanese practices, but I know that the Germans, it's the clones that they leave here.
right.
The Japanese, sorry, not the Japanese, the Germans, they have a religious belief, for whatever reason, that it has to be the original body living out there, that you're only given one body by the gods at birth and everything. Which you see disclosure of that belief in Altered Carbon, the show. So they don't use clones unless they have to, or for one-off missions. They'll send a clone down to, on a suicide run or something, but they won't. When the Germans are taking us, off planet for missions, if you have memories of being taken by the Germans off planet, they took you and used you in your actual body.
Right. Like Daryl James. He talks about that too.
Like in Nacht Waffen, World and
I have things to say about Daryl James. I'm not going to say them on air.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Hey, I'm going to change the subject now. I'd like to ask you about Tiamat And was the civilization in Tiamat part of the first solar empire? Do I have that correct?
Yes.
Um,
No, the second solar empire.
Tiamat was from the
Tiamat was.
second solar empire. And
Yeah.
where do we get the name solar humans from? Is that from this second solar empire that we're talking about, or the first one?
I'm not. I have different theories about that.
Okay.
I've heard a theory. I have heard a theory that our species is in fact the ancient race, so-called,
Right.
who set up, among other things, the wormhole network and left all sorts of technology all around the galaxy and the universe, and then mysteriously vanished. I have my suspicion that they didn't actually die off, as people are told, or they didn't actually, quote-unquote, ascend, as people are told. I have my suspicion that actually they are us. I've heard other people say that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're just the solar humans, because we're the ones who came from the colony around the star we call Sol.
Okay.
Yeah. And that our DNA, that we weren't actually made by the Anunnaki, that the Anunnaki just came to this solar colony, which was a backwater, and by then, of course, the ABR had long fallen, and we'd probably forgotten we came from them, and that the Anunnaki came here and downgraded our DNA,
Yeah.
rather than creating us as we know ourselves to be right now. That's my suspicion. As to how we came to be the solar humans, or the Solarans, is the term most often used.
All right. So when Tiamat was destroyed, some of the stuff apparently ended up in Centurion in the Alpha Centauri system, because if I'm correct, I remember there was a story, as you know, as a child's archaeologist, you use psychic skills to recover things that were buried underground. For example, on
Yeah.
planet Centurion, and you could find remnants of the explosion from Tiamat there. That just seems, it's more than 4 light years away. Am I misconnecting information?
I think so.
Okay.
There were artifacts on Centurion that were from the second solar empire. I always get that wrong. The second solar empire. Um, and I can explain what these two solar empires were.
Yeah, cool.
Twice, the solar system has been the capital of a galactic empire. Not terribly huge ones, but there have been galactic empires. The first one was like 500,000 years ago. The second one ended about 25,000 years ago, during the Orion Wars, and that was when Tiamat was destroyed. Tiamat was the capital planet of that solar empire, and they were completely out of their depth when they tried to get involved in that war. And so either the Draco or the Lyrans came and destroyed Tiamat then. It could have been either one of them. The Lyrans are not these completely innocent individuals that everyone likes to pretend they are. They committed plenty of war crimes too, back in the day.
Okay. And probably when now that you use the word artifacts, I'm sure that there were things from Tiamat that were, over in Centurion, not from an explosion, but like from travelers who were bringing stuff back and forth because there was an exchange going. Yes. Okay. Very good. Let me see. I think I'm almost done here, John. Let me just check one more thing. All right. So, going back to clones and that I want to make sure I understand and I remember this correctly. You can get 13 by 13 by 13 alters, personality shards. Maybe there's another better term for that. But what if you have like, people competing? Like you have one entity making copies and then you have another entity making copies of the same one, and do they both get to exceed 2,000? They probably have to balance out at some point.
Yes, they would. Eventually, there is a limit. There are people who can have their minds split into more than 2,197, but those people are extremely rare, and they haven't figured out a reliable way of determining if you're one of those people. And so they pretty much always just stop at the 2,197 because that is the number that pretty much anyone can be split into. I don't know why that specific of a number, but that's what they've found.
Okay, but again, like let's say one group A has got 2,000 altars already, and then unbeknownst to them, there's another group, and they're they're splitting altars from the same person. Can they exceed 200, or will they run into a roadblock? They'll say,
They will run into a roadblock.
See,
Okay.
saying that though, because I had millions of clones, like more than millions of clones, and they all had a piece of me, but they weren't my altars, not all of them.
Yeah,
So,
that's a different thing.
Yeah.
That's avatars. That's not.
So I had 24 million avatars at the start of the year. We're down to less than 3,000 now, but they're still actively in production. So this is why me and Sean Bond work together, because we're collapsing out those soul connections. But they're being used everywhere. So this is part of being the Echo template. Yeah, so like Drago probably won't have as many, but we're in a Kruger clone program, and this is what's happening with us. Yeah.
Yeah, and also clones can be not connected to you at all.
Yeah.
They can just clone your DNA and then put in, someone else's soul entirely, if they want.
So I'm not sure how many actually had a piece of my soul or not, but I know I have been able to start calling things back. But there was only maybe 10 this year that really kind of tried to integrate, and I felt it come into my mind like that. It was really weird. It's like pieces of the puzzle coming back in. Yeah, so there's definitely a difference between the clone avatars and the clone alters. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there are also alters they use when they use you in your regular body.
Yeah, I've got plenty of that.
Yeah.
Sean Bond said that I've got like some good ones, and they're surrounded by bad ones who are all trying to attack the good ones.
So, that's nice.
Yeah. So I've got self-defeating alters.
Yeah, that's part of why I don't generally practice reintegration.
Yeah. Well,
That and also because your alters have their own lives going on, and when you reintegrate them, you're killing them.
Yeah.
In a way, you're ripping them out of their lives. They might have families, they might have who knows what going on.
Some came back voluntarily, like you've had Cal come back, and Heinrich maybe come back. I don't know.
Heinrich has not come back. I don't. Well, there was once. No, Adam forced himself back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Heinrich, he came back for 3 days once because he had died his dropship had died, and it took them 3 days to find the body, but then they pulled him back out when they found the body. Which is also my body, but I guess it's like bilocated, it's hard to... If you think about that too much, you'll go insane.
I was also multi-positioned with Angelique. She was multi-positioned version of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how time loops work.
Yeah, it's a mind. Because for me, this only started in February. I mean, I was aware of some memories coming back in previously, but I didn't have context of what that was. So it's only since February that I've been gathering this info, making sense of it. So yeah, it's a mind job.
Yes, that it is.
So, can we talk a little bit about altered carbon, just so people can get the context on that? Because you did that analysis, which is available on BitChute and maybe on Rumble, when you break it down and you
Rumble wouldn't upload it.
No.
Copyrighted material.
Ah, okay.
So, which, by the way, I am starting a Substack. I have gotten in trouble quite a number of times for having copyrighted material on my channel.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure my days are numbered on YouTube, so I am starting a Substack which will have my entire video library on there. And yeah. But at any rate, yes, I made an altered carbon analysis. Uh, Altered Carbon is in the top 3 most important shows to watch for disclosure. I don't generally recommend most movies. I mean, there are some that I will say you should watch. I'll say you should watch Elysium and Blade Runner and Ghost in the Shell, the animated version, not so much the Scarlett Johansson one. Um, but that one has stuff in it too. It's a good movie, but the animated version has quite a bit more disclosure in it. But anyways, so where was I? Um, oh, I don't generally recommend most movies because, in my opinion, you need a bare minimum of 6 hours to show anything. Um, Altered Carbon is at the top of my list of things you need to watch if you want to know about daily living in the SSP or daily living in the breakaway at when you are an asset who is living there, in between missions or whatever, or who is running a mission whilst living a life. Um, which is that's another topic that I'm pretty much the only person talking about, and is the daily living out there, and also at any rate, Altered Carbon is the top show to watch. If you are an asset, you need to be very, very, very careful watching it. Because the first time I tried to watch it, which was, I tried to watch it, someone recommended it to me in the hours after, Kyle reintegrated, so that was August, 2023, I guess. 2023? Yeah, 2023. And I tried to watch it, and I made it through 2 episodes, at which point I finally had to stop because I was having a panic attack every 30 seconds or less. And I mean real panic attacks. I was in this same chair I'm in right now, curled up in a fetal position with my face buried in a pillow to muffle the screams. That was how
Wow.
extreme it was. But I finally have actually watched it. I've only watched the first season. The second season, for various reasons, is
Mm.
dead to me and doesn't exist.
I feel the
Um,
same. I actually do feel the same.
okay,
I watched the first season
yeah,
twice, but it's before I realised I was an asset. So
yeah,
I watched it fine. I really enjoyed it, but things have stuck in my head, like on repeat. My mind repeats. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's the most, and it's about Kyle.
Yeah.
They cut out certain things, like they softened him as a person,
Mm.
uh, in the show, I would say. But they also, there is an Altered Carbon book out there, which I think is more accurate to how he was as a person. Um, but there are things about Kyle that you couldn't really show, that you can't really have a protagonist on Air B. Like, for instance, he is, a massive racist. Um, um,
God. Sorry, that's not funny.
no, it's funny. It's just, um, and so that is kind of in the Altered Carbon book. On the other hand, in the Altered Carbon book, they showed the way that he was really good with kids, which they cut out from the show. Which I was actually quite annoyed that they cut that out, but
Mm. Yeah,
yeah. At any rate, that I consider Altered Carbon supplemental material to my books.
yeah,
If you want a visualization of several of the scenes in there or of what Kyle looked like, watch Altered Carbon.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I've really enjoyed reading your books. I'm almost towards the end of book 3, waiting for book 4, and then I'll finish book 3 first. And then you just released chapter 16 from book 2 onto your channel on YouTube, so I need to catch that because I
Yeah,
was listening to the audio.
I had the audiobook out of volume 2, but it was chapter 16 was missing, whether the audiobook reader skipped it or whether there was an issue with my splicing together. I don't know. But at any rate, so now it's complete, and I had to put it together because I need it all for my
Yeah.
Substack.
So, I mean, I just want to say
Which,
book 2 was very activating for me and emotionally activating, but
yeah,
also I connected into a sacred artifact on the planet, which is now integrated into my energetic field. And I spoke to Sean Bond, and he's aware of the same artifact. So it's a real thing. And I was able to locate it and
yeah.
integrate it. And it's something
The
that I've had
pyramid
access
with,
to before, the pyramid with this crystal sphere inside. So as a record keeper, that's something that I would have used. And now I've got it
yeah.
back. So thank you. Thank you
Wow.
for
Yeah,
that.
you're
That's
welcome.
amazing. And
Yeah,
it can be used to project out like a heads-up display as well. So it means I don't have to use the left eye implant, which is a bit dirty tech compared to the crystal and pyramid tech. Yeah, which is ancient, clean tech, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I will point out to people, a lot of people only read volume 1. Looking at you, Rob Khalil. Um, uh, uh, a
I
lot
don't
of
think Rob
people
watches
on,
my videos that much. He's a great supporter,
okay.
and he's like my idol right now. But
Well,
he's a great friend.
maybe with 2 icons of his show on air, maybe he'll watch this one. Um, so Rob, I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at various other people who I have talked to who have only read volume 1. Volume 1 is not even a prologue, hardly.
Yeah.
It's in volume 2 and 3 adds up to over 600 pages. Volume 4 is going to be very, very long. Volume 5 is going to be very long. Volume 6 is probably not going to be terribly long, but it's going to be probably about volume 3 length. Volume 1 is 169 pages out of what'll be
Yeah.
well over probably close to 2,000 pages.
Wow.
All on one altar.
Yeah.
Um,
So, are you going
yeah.
to write another book with different altar focus?
I'm probably gonna move to my writing endeavor stack.
Are you cutting out a bit there on the audio?
I'm moving my writing story is done probably.
Okay.
Um, people are more likely to read an article than an entire multi-hundreds of pages book.
No, I mean,
Um,
I bought the physical book 1 and I really loved having it as well. So it was great to do
yeah,
that. But then for books 2 and 3, I moved on to the audio, which was great because then I had the music playing all the way through. But some of that music was so activating, I was literally like sobbing. And, and I had a few issues with one of the characters, which a memory came in. Your camera's off, by the way.
I know. Sorry, I'm looking
Okay.
at something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a character in there that is a direct alter of my trauma twin, and that I actually remember. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that was hard for me.
Alas, I have to write in volume 4 is where I write about his death.
Oh, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay because it's not like he's really gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was multiple versions of us. We've been connected for a really, really long time, back to the Orion Wars. So that's what I've discovered.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
Ray, have you got any other topics that you wanted to cover?
Short answer, no. But I want to let John know where I am. I have not seen Altered Carbon at all because I have ghetto cable. So to watch it, I'd have to pay for some subscription. Not anxious to do
No,
that.
You don't. I'll send you a link.
Oh, all right, cool deal. But
Yeah.
you mentioned there was a book too, so I might be interested in that.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of right there with Rob. You know, I saw you on Rob's show with New Skin, and then you said, you know, my books are required reading. I'm like, oh, dude, I better get ready. So I picked up from volume 2 right after Kyle arrived at Camp Hero, and I was so happy I did, because then we had that whole thing out in the Philippines. That was a gripping adventure. Something else I want to say about your characters. I know we're calling them characters, but they're real
Yeah.
people. You know, the same way Hemingway had characters in his book; those were real people. But I thought that
Yeah.
there were incredible, three-dimensional, strong female characters. I'm not saying I liked all of them, but they were definitely 3D and real. And the humanity of all the characters, particularly Kyle's. I know it
Yeah.
sounds you know, buttering you up or whatever, but Kyle was like the most humane of them all. You know, he was more
Yeah.
human than everybody else. So
As a synthetic.
very
More
unique
human than
writing.
human.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Literally, to quote Blade Runner.
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. So that's all I got to say. You know, you've given me so much to think about, John. It was such an honor to be able to talk to you in person like this. So I want to say how nice it was to meet you, unless, of course, you recognize me from someplace.
Ah.
I do not at this
Okay.
time.
It was good drama anyway. Thank you, John.
That's one. I don't recognize that many people because all my body is allowing me to bring forward right now is lab memories and memories that are linked into my my alpha, my dyad. So yeah, so I don't have a lot of other people unless they were part of my Ella from Nacht Waffen. She did see a couple of people, and then I was activated recently by New Skin because there's clone versions of him that I've actually been involved with as well. Plus we've got a connection going back to Lyra. So other than that, I don't recognize that many people yet, and they don't recognize me because I'm just a scientist, geneticist, kind of like trapped away somewhere, like lots of versions of me. So yeah, so I'm sure people will come forward. But we don't always look the same anyway.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the annoying part. I very well might, you know one of you very, very well, but if it doesn't look like you, I wouldn't know.
Yeah. It's tricky, isn't it?
There are some people out there who can tell from an energy signature.
Yeah.
I can't, and I question whether that's reliable because in my experience, my alters have a completely different energy signature from me.
Oh,
So,
that's interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Was there anything else you wanted to cover before we finish?
No, I do want to stay on and talk a little after
Sure.
you end the recording, but yeah.
Okay, that's great. So your books, everything are available, and your
Yeah, you can
YouTube
link them
is
in the
at
description.
the John Whitberg, yeah. And then of
Yes,
course we've got
all
Ray at
lowercase,
StarCard
all one
Podcast.
word.
Brilliant. So I'll put everything below. So thank you so much for joining me, guys.
Yeah, thank you.